All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Tony, you want to lead us in the pledge?
Sure. I pledge an allegiance to the flag
of the United States of
United States of
America.
America and
To
to
the
the
republic which is
Yeah.
one nation,
nation
under God,
under God,
indivisible, liberty,
and justice for all.
Brief moment of silence for those people suffering from the virus and the firemen who preceded us. Okay. Any public comment?
There's nobody on right now.
Okay. Chief's report.
All right, so what's on everybody's forefront is the storm response. Getting ahead of myself, this will come up in next month's report, but just in the 7 days from August 4th to August 10th, the Chappaqua Fire Department responded to 50 emergency calls during that 1 week period. Okay, so that's about 15% of our annual call volume was achieved in a week, which is pretty significant. We had 4 fires. We had 30 hazardous conditions. Let's see, a number of those, 7 of those were gas calls. Let me find my CO, my carbon monoxide incidents were 7, where we had significant readings. We had people transported to the hospital. We had a resident that refused entry to the department 3 times. And on the 3rd time, we finally got them to allow us in and determined that they did have carbon monoxide throughout the house. They're lucky that they're still alive. We had only 11 false alarms during that period of time. But like I said, 30 hazardous calls and 4 fires in a 1 week period of time, for which that is way out of the range of what we normally respond to. And the men and women in the Chappaqua Fire Department were going around the clock. A lot of these calls happened in the middle of the night. I know there were 2 nights that they went out at 11 o'clock at night and they didn't stop till 6 o'clock in the morning. So big pat on the back to everybody in the department for being able to handle all that stuff. We didn't miss a beat, so that's always great to hear. Also under new business, the town sent out a note today about a virtual 9/11 ceremony that they want us to contribute to. And I know Carrie's on here somewhere. She can help us potentially create a video to be put into that virtual 9/11 ceremony. And we are also welcome to go to the memorial at Gedney Park and do our own in-person memorial if we choose to do it. We have to abide by the governor's rules and it has to be less than 50 people and so forth. So more about that as we get a little bit closer, and we'll work that out between the department and the town. Also, the Mount Kisco Fire Department is going to have their 9/11 ceremony on 9/11 in person. We've been invited. There's some strict guidelines on how that's going to work, but our members will be able to participate in that as well. Old business, we still have to deal with the water tank leak on TL27. We have to get TL27's pump test done. We just got the results on the other 3 pieces of apparatus, so we need to make sure that we get TL27's pump tested.
Would they come again just for that one or no?
I'm trying to get it so that if they come into Westchester to do another department on another day, that they'll just tell us and we'll either bring it to them, or worst case scenario, they'll come to us.
Okay.
So
Just keep me in mind, I'll work with Ruscon about that tank leak too.
Yeah.
They're be coming to look at it again here.
And the good thing is that we've been out qualifying, new drivers. So all the apparatus is getting a good run through its paces, especially through the pumps
Okay.
and so forth. We're using them now more than we have in the past few years. So according to the pump test company, that's the best thing that we can do for it.
Yep.
So,
I agree.
that's significant. I just had a question for the policies that we sent you guys a month ago. Where are we with that, Eric?
Which policy is that?
There was a smoking policy and there was a facial hair policy. Both of them are New York State law. And I know Mike Ligori said that there's nothing wrong with them from a legal perspective. We just need to adopt it. So it's been 30 days. I'm not quite sure where we are with that.
I'll have to check on that, on a thing. I do have, I want to bring the smoking up in the executive session we're gonna have.
Well, I'm not going to be there, so
I
we'll have to pick that up in another time. But
Well, as far as the facial hair is concerned, I see no reason.
Nothing's wrong with the video.
what happened to Eric?
Well, here he is.
Does anybody want to make the policy question?
Russell, I just thought the facial hair policy, I thought we had that in the SOPs.
It's not quite spelled out, and it's contradictory, or it's not specific enough. Federal OSHA guidelines state that with tight-fitting respirators, you cannot have any facial hair come in contact with the seal of the mask.
Okay.
Regardless of whether or not you can pass the fit test, there's two things. Number one, it is illegal for somebody to conduct a fit test on someone that has facial hair. And if somebody wears a tight-fitting respirator with facial hair, they're in violation of the federal law. So
I thought we'd had it, that's all, but okay. I understand.
we just have to say that we're going to follow 1910.134 OSHA's respiratory standard. So we have to do
Right.
that. And the other thing is that the smoking policy is part of New York State public health law. And again, our counsel for the district has said that the policy put forth to you guys meets all legal guidelines and requirements. And to be honest with you, there shouldn't be a member of the Chappaqua Fire Department in the firehouse or on a fire call who smokes. It's not good for our image. It's not good for the firefighter. The district is paying cancer coverage on firefighters, and to allow a firefighter to smoke while you're paying and the public is paying cancer coverage is beyond crazy. I don't know what the weight is on that. There shouldn't be any issue. Firefighters should not smoke while on duty or at the firehouse in any way, shape, or form. And I don't know why you wouldn't look at that and say a common person thinks that that is the right thing to do, especially with the lawyer saying that the policy is valid.
I'm gonna call him and see if there's a landline he can use. You know, the cell service has been spotty ever since the
terrible.
storm.
That's probably what happened.
But I would ask you guys to vote on that. You guys all got the email back from Mike Ligori that gave the thumbs up. This is a no-brainer, and I can't find anybody in the fire service, both in volunteer or career, who thinks firefighters smoking on duty is a good thing.
Yeah, when Eric comes back, we should vote on it.
Well, we lost them?
Yeah. You know what?
I think it's a cell
Why don't you,
issue.
Russell, you got to get going, so.
Well, I'll give him a couple of seconds and then I'll finish up my report and we'll go.
What the hell happened to that?
You know what it is in the firehouse, the cell service is lousy.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is, but my AT&T hasn't been back yet. I mean, it's here,
Yeah.
but not as strong.
That's because the tower on Hardscrabble Hill is still struggling and doesn't have power. And the next tower is in Mount Kisco.
Yeah.
So,
Guys, it's Paul Lighton. I just joined. Eric's computer crapped out on him, so I'm putting my phone over closer to him.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
No
I
problem.
have to talk to Greg about my laptop or my iPad. All right, anything further from the, on the chief's report?
Well, I got to finish that, but I wanted to see if I can't get you guys to vote on both policies.
Well, I'll take a motion to vote on the mask, and after we discuss it in executive on the smoking, I'll bring that up for a vote after that.
All right. Membership, it's not on your sheet, but Bristol got a resignation from Olivia Bonadies, so we can take her off of our policies and roster. The patrol company voted on Dylan O'Keefe. I don't know why I wrote O'Toole on the paperwork. I guess that was either spell check or something else. But Dylan O'Keefe was voted in. I got his arson check back as well as his background check, and everything checks out. And he's very eager to get started. So you have the bills. We have some refreshments, some batteries, some training, and water and Gatorade for $669.70. And the alarms for July, again, above average. We had 38 alarms. We had 7 cooking fires. Go figure. People that stayed home during COVID are not very good cooks, I guess. 1 building fire. We had a motor vehicle accident. We had a number of gas leaks. We did a couple of mutual aids. And I'll go back. We also did a large structure fire in Armonk. I forgot the actual date on that, but the tower ladder went and we did a really good job. Couple of good intents, and we had like 50% of the calls in July were false alarms for a total of 38. And then, like I told you, your 2 dates coming up are the 9/11 ceremony in Chappaqua, and I did not mention that probably will not necessarily, the in-person can take place at any time, not necessarily on the 11th if we choose to. So we're going to be in contact with Millwood Fire and CVAC and see what works. So that's it for me.
Okay,
I make
thanks.
a motion to reimburse the chief $669.70.
Second,
Second,
all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Carries 4-0. In reference to membership on Dylan O'Keefe, take a motion to accept him.
Yes, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Carried 4-0. Move of the other member is standard since they've left. Nothing else. Oh, yes, on the hair thing, take a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve.
Second,
second,
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried 4-0.
All
On
right,
the,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was just going to say on the last thing, just, we've done it from a departmental standpoint, but I wanted to recognize, Chief Iden and the officers and the members that responded. Like, it was a hell of a run for them. And although I was away in Montour Falls, my phone went off every time. And like I said, they covered everything and they did a tremendous job. So I just want to put that on the record that they should be commended for excellent work.
I agree.
All right.
So noted for the minutes.
And on that note, I got to go finish taking these, giving a final exam to these students.
Have fun.
Have fun.
All
Could
right.
may I
Yeah.
bug you for just 1 second?
Go ahead.
So we got the 2 hydrant bills, one from Mount Pleasant and one from Newcastle, and I just wanted to run it by you that the town of Mount Pleasant is saying 12 hydrants, the town of Newcastle is saying 646.
Sounds right about right.
Okay.
The only question on Mount Pleasant is, that's a direct line off Newcastle. And I'm trying to find out who's responsible, whether there's a pump station in Mount Pleasant. I contacted DPW, they couldn't answer. They said they'd get back to me after talking to Mount Pleasant, and I haven't heard. We'll pay the bill in any case on the thing as far as that's concerned, but I want to take a look at I can't find any contract that we have with Mount Pleasant per se.
All right, guys, I'm going to jump.
Good enough.
Okay,
Thank you.
take care.
I,
Okay. Treasurer's report.
So everyone got the check register. If there are any questions, feel free to ask. I sent you the profit and loss, and I just highlighted 2 accounts that are over budget at this point, which would be hydrants by like $1,300, and the contractual expenses that are probably on the, on the lot. The
Well,
building.
part of those contractual expenses are cleaning up the old application of the planning board from 16 that were required to meet the town requirements, et cetera. We probably should be running a separate list as to which is the old stuff and which is allowed for our new budget. But the answer is we'll have to transfer from some funds for surplus to take care of cleaning up that old problem back from 16 that was never finished. Can you sort of subtotal those 2 so we know what's the old stuff versus the new?
I guess I would not know who is the old. How would I know that?
Well, the bill should indicate the period of time that they were billing for. And also would clear up anything that referred to clearing up planning board requirements or town requirements would be from the old stuff. So if there was a bill that said filing plot plans or agreeing to check the plantings and things of that nature, all pertain to that old original agreement with the town going back when the first approval was voted in 16.
Sure, I'll take a look at those.
Okay. No, it doesn't have to be exact, but I just want to sort of keep an idea as to how much we're spending cleaning up the old stuff that's never been done over the years.
Okay.
And that's why you're over budget on that thing. So we'll have to make a motion to move money from surplus to pick up on that. As far as the hydrant rental is concerned, the budgeting that we did was only for the Newcastle hydrants. I wasn't even aware until we got this bill that we're paying Mount Pleasant. And that's probably the differential between the 100,000 that we budgeted and the 101,000 that we are actually paying.
Right, and Mount Pleasant actually billed us for this year and last. They had, I guess, forgotten to bill us for last year.
Okay. But we ought to make a notation for future years running forward that hydrant rental should be subdivided with 2 lines, one for Mount Pleasant and one for Newcastle.
Mhm. Okay, that's all I have.
All right. Approval of treasurer's report,
I make a motion
to approve it.
second, all in
second.
favor?
Aye.
Pass 4-0. Approval of minutes. Any corrections for the minutes?
I just had one and Judy corrected it.
Okay. Make a motion for approval of
Make a
minutes.
motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried 4-0. First item is insurance. I've written to you in the past in reference to LoSAP, where over the years, our percentage of funding has dropped from 79 to 71%. And I indicated that the amount we had been billed was less than the actuarial showed as to the required amount which we paid. I would like to recommend that what we do is we have the money in the account, but I would like to recommend that what we do is move another 30,000 over and pay that into the LoSAP funds to start to bring us back up towards the 79% and spread that out over a period of years till we properly fund that. I'm not completely convinced. I understand why they've been billing us for less than what their actuarial is showing. But there's no reason for us to continue to draw that account down and then eventually get whacked in the future. Anybody make a motion, or will take a motion for me to fund an additional 30,000 to LoSAP?
I'll
So
make a,
just to review, so the budget was 180 for this year, and we spent 142, leaving us 37,000.
Right, that's why I'm saying
Yep,
30,000
just-
would bring it more into line.
Yep. So we won't have to transfer. We'll just be using the funds that we budgeted.
Right. I'll make a motion in favor.
Yes. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. 4-0, approve the transfer of the funds to bring LoSAP more into line. And what we'll have to do is we'll have to, when we start talking next month on the budget hearing, we'll have to make an adjustment probably. Well, maybe not. We got 187. If we leave it at that, we're probably okay. But we'll have less going back into reserve than has been the case in the past.
Yeah, so what will, you reach out to the vendor and they'll bill us the extra 30?
I think let's just cut a check to the account and we'll send it in, and I'll give it to me and I'll send it in with a covering note.
30 even, okay.
Right. Nothing else on insurance. Anything on purchasing?
That's Hoyt.
Okay. Anything on technology? Only thing on technology is we did send in the final report to Westchester County authorizing the new communications equipment, and the town of Newcastle this last Tuesday night at their meeting voted to sign their copy of the contract, which brings them into line, and we're underneath there as part of their contract. I don't know about where Mount Millwood and CVAC are at, but I assume that they probably signed theirs, which would be the only 4 from the town of Newcastle. Anything on trucks?
Yes. Engine 144, the other day, the tailpipe came off, and I took it off with a couple of, John Maduris helped me and a couple of other members. And then Ruscon came and he temporarily did a repair on it. And we have a couple of lights out that I have to look at. Tower ladder 27, we had a quartz light on, scene light on the bucket that is broken, and Ruscon ordered a new light. And we had on the same tower ladder, we had a base charger for a flashlight was broken, and he ordered another base for it. Engine 146, the air conditioning was repaired, and they're complaining that it's leaking water from the vents inside the cab. And I spoke to the mechanic, and he said not to put the fan full blast, not the high speed, because what stays on the bottom, and then when you put the fan full blast, it sprays water all over. To use low and medium, because there's a part like a foam piece that goes on the bottom of the pan, and they can't get this piece anymore. And that's what happens when a truck gets a certain age. Let's see if that's it. Utility 155 and has to be inspected, and also we have to bring the antique up to get inspected also. And that's it on trucks.
Okay.
Communication. Okay, engine 146. I had a complaint about the trunking. A trunk radio is not receiving well. So I'm gonna call Metrocom to just check it out. That's it on communications.
Okay.
House, I really got no complaints. The only thing I had called on was the air conditioner in the chief's office wasn't working. The technician came down and there's nothing wrong with it. It's working fine. That's about it.
I was looking at the lawn outside. Do you think it would make sense to use one of those herbicides to get rid of the weeds?
The trouble is, if you put it down now with the dryness, it's gonna kill all the good grass. We have to wait a little while, and I think it's part of the program that he's gonna put that stuff down, but he can't do it right at the moment.
Well, that's fine as far as that's concerned, but have we ever done it in the past?
Yes,
Okay.
have it. Yep,
Just seems to me like we got a lot of weeds.
yep. It's everywhere. It's not only here.
Okay. Uniforms, turnout gear. Nothing, okay. Medical, physical, nothing. Compliance policy review. We voted on one, we'll discuss the other one. Town liaison, nothing at this particular point. Engineering, we'll discuss. I'm rushing through any of these things. If anybody wants to bring up engineering, we'll discuss in executive session. Any old business? Okay. Under new business, I sent out a thing from the Westchester County Bar Association in reference to a program available to members of the various fire departments. I asked for a return. I only got one response. I sent you a copy to all of them. Is anybody who particularly disagrees with us availing ourselves of that program for the membership?
No, I don't have anything against it.
All right, in that case, I'll advise the chief to send that WCBA out to the membership, and each one of the members can contact the WCBA if they want to avail themselves of that.
Okay.
Any other new business?
Yeah, I have one, and I thought Russell was gonna bring it up a little bit, but he approached me that he wants the district to get another utility truck and sell our van, because we're not using the van. I said I would look into it, and there's a BOCES bid where we got the Chiefs cars, and there's a 4-door utility, the same kind that we have, but we can also get an enclosed back on it with it's a 6-foot, when you walk in, the height is 6 feet. They also make a 72-inch one. I mean, a 6-foot, the one we, on the bid, it's 5 feet tall. And it goes for $48,994. And then if I put like the Tommy gate on it is, and a rear camera, it's another $3,632. I did some research. I'm gonna get more pictures on it, and then we'll see if it's a good idea to get one and sell the van. I'm just bringing it up to the board.
What about the other car?
The chief's car, the deputy, I don't know, are we gonna just let it sit out there, or is someone gonna use it?
Go ahead.
It's
Hey
all,
guys, it's Paul. So 2 things really quickly. I definitely endorse the second utility after having been running most of the calls that we had for the alarms last week. Having a second one when we've got a storm like that is a much better use, I think, than sending out a $1 million fire truck to with low-hanging wires, etc. With regard to the deputy's truck, again, it was extremely helpful for us to have it. We have allocated the use of it to different ex-chiefs since Russell's taken command of the department back in May, so it has gotten some use to it. We've used it as the vehicle to shuttle people over to Ruscon when they needed to pick up and drop off a piece of apparatus. So I think it's definitely getting some use that it's worthwhile keeping it there. We can make part of house duty, making sure somebody goes over, runs it, drives it around a little bit. Tony, you let me know what you would prefer done as far as maintaining its mobility, and we will.
Okay. All right, but that's our problem with the van. It's not being used, and if they don't plug it in, the battery will die fairly, like in a week. And the deputy car is it's gonna do the same thing. That's
Yeah,
why.
I'll get somebody even tonight to go start it up and let it run, bring it over here. We'll put it on the ramp, let it run for a bit to make sure everything gets charged up. And, you know, as far as the, you know, comparing a new utility to the van, I think the problem with the van, it's not really practical for us to do anything except to take a bunch of members somewhere. So
Right.
we don't really have that many outings anymore where we're taking, you know, 5 or 6 people at a clip. We usually take apparatus if we're going to the training center, et cetera. So I think that'd be the big mitigating difference between the two pieces of equipment.
Okay, that's why I'm bringing it up, because the chief asked me to research it, and there is a 2021 and that we can order. So the price is not too bad compared to the other one, because the other utility is a diesel. This one, I'm going to get a gasoline if we purchase one. The diesel's too much money.
Do we have a list yet of what you'd be putting in it?
Yes, I do.
don't-
You
I
do?
have, oh, you mean as far as after?
Equipment. Yeah, before we buy something of that
Yep.
nature, question would be as to whether we should be putting shells or anything else like that in there.
Yes, no,
Because essentially that's like a plumber's or an electrician's truck, which has a lot of ability to store stuff on the side if we want to.
Right, well, my preference of the two would be to have it open like this one. So if we are picking up hose, we can just stack it up, but also too, it's not going to get musty, you know, being in an enclosed space. And depending on how it comes, I mean, the shelving that came on this utility was perfect for what we needed. And when we took the sliding trays off of the old Rescue 23, installed those are quite helpful on this
That's
one.
what
But
I
we
mean.
do it.
Yeah, one can be used as a rescue, and then if we get another one, we can use it more to put the generator in there and other things like when we pick up hose.
Yeah, and I think we just look to put, you know, additional chargers, not just for radios, but for CO detectors, you know, gas meters, things such as that. So this way, when we are pressing it into service for a gas call, we, you know, it's ready to go. We don't have to take the equipment off of the ladder and put it on there.
All right,
Okay.
we have to store that down at Center Street.
Yeah, build a new firehouse and we'll be good to go. Come on.
That's what we're gonna discuss tonight. But you're gonna have the truck before you have the firehouse.
Cart before the horse. But no, I mean, and it's one of those things too. I mean, Tony, as the first assistant, I will commit to making sure that, I mean, I'm down at Center Street, as you know, regularly. I can
Right.
make sure that I pull it out and let it run for a period of time when I'm down there using the fitness center or something along those lines. So we make sure it stays in ready preparedness.
Okay. I just we'll discuss it with the board, and if we want to move forward on it, then I'll make copies and I'll let everyone see it, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any correspondence?
Sure.
Yeah, I checked our mail and I received a FOIL request. There's a law firm in Connecticut that's looking for all matters related to the Oak Lane Child Care Center next door. I will forward it. I'll forward it to you. I'm not quite sure that we have any records relating to that.
I would send that to Lynn.
Okay. All right.
Send it to Lynn with a CC to me.
Okay.
CC me, okay? I pay the bills. So I've got a lot on Oak Lane.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, but Lynn would have the update of what we're arguing about. And she may bring in JMC because they've been doing the work over there, which we're supposed to be reimbursed for. Let's put it that way. But she would have all those records.
Okay, I'll do it tomorrow morning. I'll get it to her.
Okay. Any other correspondence?
No. That was all.
All right. In that case, take a motion to temporarily adjourn the meeting to go into executive session.
I make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.